Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Diaphone. Today I wanted to talk about Arcsys Add Rollback Netcode. So there's a recent Guilty Gear development stream where one of the devs suggested that they are considering adding rollback netcode to some of their previous games. This includes BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, DBCF, and of course hashtag BBCF rollback, which is trending a couple weeks ago on Twitter when this interview was released. So it got me thinking, should Arcsys actually add rollback netcode? Well, in order to figure this out, I surveyed 1,000 random people on Twitter. They all said yes. Easy video. Don't forget to like, sub, and subscribe. But in all seriousness, guys, Arcsys cares about one thing. They are a company, and companies care about money. So it doesn't matter how good rollback netcode felt to you in Plus R or in Strive or in any other game you played. What they really care about is this is going to be profitable for them in the long term. And I tried to figure that out. And there's not too much data to go off of. But there was a game developer conference done by the people that made MKX, NetherRealm Studios. And they actually retroactively implemented rollback into their game, and it took them roughly 7 to 8 man-years for the initial release of the rollback netcode. This cost a ton of money. People think adding rollback netcode is cheap. It's actually not, as evidenced by this. I'm gonna guess it costs about $600,000. Now, to estimate how much value you get out of your investment, which your investment is all the development time it takes to add rollback netcode, I want to use Plus R, Guilty Gear Plus R, as a case study. As you can see by this graph, you can't tell the exact sales numbers of Plus R, but you can tell how many reviews were published for this game. And you know, the left of the curve, or the left of the graph, is the beginning when the game was released. The right of the graph was, of course, when rollback was released, and you can see the huge spike in sales. Well, you can use the Steam reviews to kind of estimate how many sales there are. A commonly considered factor is by a factor of 50. If you do that, you get 64,000 sales essentially due to rollback, right? If you average this with a $6 revenue per sale, which, you know, the game's selling for 15 right now, but a lot of people bought it on sale. And Steam takes a little bit of a cut, so you have to decrease that by quite a bit. You get 374,000, which is obviously less than your investment. I'm actually guessing that Arcsys, because they use third-party consultants, and it seems like there's like some fan involvement, probably did not cost them that much. But you know, even if you use these current numbers and you assume a depreciation over time, I estimate it'll take them 5 months to break even, and at the end of the year they will have turned a profit. So this gets me thinking, are other games profitable for them? I think there's some factors to consider. Some positives is that rollback is cheaper to implement due to experience, right? They've implemented rollback in the Strive. They've implemented rollback in the Plus R now. So they have that experience. So likely those development costs aren't going to be as high as NetherRealm Studios when they implemented it into MKX. The game can be ported to additional consoles. This means additional sales. Newer games equals more sales, or at the very least, you'll get more money per your sale because the game isn't already heavily discounted, right? I think there's a few negatives though for a new game. You know, Guilty Gear Plus R kind of hit like the perfect storm of the pandemic, and there's a new Guilty Gear coming out, and there's pretty much no other rollback games out. And so when a new or a re-release game with rollback comes out, such as BlazBlue Central Fiction, you know, there will already be other games with rollback for it to contend to, and hopefully COVID's laying up so people can start to play offline. And to my knowledge, there's no new BlazBlue coming out, so those will all detract from wanting to add rollback netcode to those games, at least in the view of Arcsys. So I tried to put some monetary figures around this, just some very ballpark numbers, add a plus or minus 50% due to uncertainty, and I got 234,000 to 702,000 versus 300,000 investment. So this comes out to an average ROI, or return of investment, of 56%. So it seems profitable just by running those very quick numbers. Of course, Arcsys knows the true numbers. Most likely it's profitable though. Another question that you guys may be wondering is what games should be done and when. I think what you want to do is, if I was Arcsys, I'd wait till Strive sales numbers, and if the Strive sales numbers are way more than Xrd when the game released, most likely people are buying that game because of rollback and all the hype surrounding it. I'd also choose one game to start with. I'd probably choose the easiest game to implement, let's be honest. Or pick the game most likely to sell. They'll have to weigh the pros and cons. There's also the thing that, Arcsys self-publishes the BlazBlue series, but third-party publishes, Side Games, for example, publishes Granblue Fantasy Versus. So there's probably some barriers in that. Hopefully they aren't too much to overcome, but we really don't know. But yeah, so it comes back to the original question. Should Arcsys add rollback netcode? I personally think so. I love rollback netcode compared to some of the delay-based games I've played. I think it's a technological improvement. But some of the, the financials are looking good, but some of the harder to put financial figures on, right? It builds the fighting game community. When more people can play your game, and more people are playing online and they have other people to play against, it starts to build a bigger community, which then if people are part of a community, they bring their friends in their community, and it just overall expands the people that play fighting games. And that's, that's my goal. I love to see people playing fighting games, but I think Arcsys, that should be their goal too, because if you have more people playing fighting games, it means more money for you. So it's a win-win. And just one last thing, I saw this Reddit post, good netcode got us married. We met playing MVCI, he's from Greece, she's from Singapore. Good netcode is important to bring people together. Here's hoping KOF 15 will have great netcode. So MVCI, non-rollback netcode. Just imagine what rollback netcode could do for your games, Arcsys. But yeah, Arcsys, if you're watching, please consider adding rollback netcode. And for all you guys that really want to see this, support Arcsys. Buy the games that have rollback netcode, show that you support them adding rollback netcode to other titles, and of course use those hashtags and let them know what you guys want. Arcsys seems to be listening to feedback, especially with those the Guilty Gear strat changes, and I think now's a good time as ever to let them know what you guys want in your games. Thanks, and don't forget to like, sub, and subscribe.